Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 3 of my post-novice space age guide. So in the last episode, we embarked on our journey to Vulcanus, brought a bunch of supplies with us, and landed on the planet. We have just barely started setting things up. So in this episode, before we get started, I want to create a second ship. We're going to want something that can bring more supplies to us. We're going to call this the Wizard. And we're going to indicate what it is doing. So it is bringing supplies from novice to, do I want to use this symbol or do I want to use, we'll just use this one. From novice to Vulcanus. Yeah, that'll work. And before we actually get into setting that up, I do want to mention, I did have a couple of really baby tiny issues with setting this up that I kind of discovered afterwards, and they have huge, like, they're massive issues even though they're tiny mistakes. One was for our asteroid disposal system. So this should have been set to, I think I set this to 50 originally, and it should have been enabled if the metal asteroid chunks are more than 50, and I had every single one of these set to less than. I think it was because I just kind of went through and filtered them all and forgot to add the less than. So it was just chucking everything that it came across off the ship. So I did up these to 200, both of them. You know what? You could also have a situation where you like staggered them, like, oh, okay, well, if it's 200, pitch it and maybe have a different one that's like, well, I mean, I want to start the process at 175. You know, something like that. So one is kind of like an overflow. I'm fine with just leaving both of them at 200 for now. This one was 50, we upped it to 100, and this one was 75 and I upped it to 125. So that was one issue. Another issue was I had, as you can see, metallic asteroids coming onto both sides of this belt and being fed into here with a priority merger. So we actually had metal asteroids or metallic asteroids feeding onto the side of the belt that we did not want to have asteroids. So I put a belt here to force it onto the bottom side of this belt and solve that problem. Also, whenever I was setting this up, I was talking about the space in between the splitters and how the belts didn't recognize this, so we needed this whole setup. And I also mentioned that it did not recognize what was in the underground belts. I had a commenter point out that that was incorrect. I did a little bit of testing. I thought I had tested it before. I guess I didn't. So I did test it, and they are correct. It does read everything in the underground belts, and you can kind of see the little shimmer of a gold line for the outline of the belts here to kind of indicate that, similar to this, it is being tracked. So apologies, that was an incorrect statement. Something else that I did was, whenever I took the blueprint of the ship here, I left in the quality, but I have since downgraded everything to a regular quality. It's a lot easier to upgrade the quality after than to try to downgrade the quality after. Well, it's just better to have the base blueprint at base quality. So, yeah, I have updated that, and it is updated. Like, all of these changes are updated on my Discord in the blueprint section. Okay, so moving along. We are going to take the Wizard, and we're just going to take our ship and just put it on there. You can't mess up the placement. You can't rotate it. You can't, like, it lines up with the space platform hub, and it is good to go. So we're just going to let that craft. Let it kind of bring in the items. It's got lots of space platforms to bring up. In the meantime, we are here on Vulcanus, and there's a couple of things that we need to do. So if we look at the research tree, There's a few things that we need to unlock. One is this tungsten carbide. We just need to mine a big volcanic rock. Well, how do we do that? Oh, done. Okay, bots did it for us. So that one's done. So now we have access to... Where did it go? So now we have access to be able to turn coal and sulfuric acid into carbon. And carbon, tungsten ore, and sulfuric acid into tungsten carbide. So that's kind of interesting. So we can get carbon from the trees. That's great. Yay, carbon. But we need coal. So it looks like we have coal on the planet. We also have this other material called calcite. There is sulfuric acid geysers. Check those out. That's pretty sweet looking. And we haven't uncovered any yet because it's usually down in the striped sections, which we will get into shortly. But there it is, tungsten ore on the ground, as well as in any of the rocks that we can pick up, which will be a task for the bots. We're not going to run around picking up rocks, not anymore. So another thing that I want to do is I want to relocate because we have a very, very limited amount of space, and I want to try to utilize as much of the little like cubby sections that we can for stuff that is like largely, I don't know, almost useless to us. So like this, for instance, this whole space is useless. I can use all of this for solar power. So yeah, I'm just going to drop some solar power down here. This might seem a little ridiculous, and I promise you it kind of is. But we don't really care about where these are placed. They just need to be somewhere out of the way, right? I do not have any substations. Okay, so before we get into covering the solar panels, I am going to place a cargo landing pad over here. So I'm going to have it kind of off over here somewhere. Something like that. We can add some cargo bays in this direction. The cargo bays, we can literally just expand it. Like, it doesn't really matter where they are. Like, we can work around the lava. It's not a big deal if we ever needed more storage, which we probably don't. We also need to pay attention to... we need to pay attention to the striped sections because... I don't think I heard one. Inside these striped sections, we have these large demolishers. And they're pretty freaking cool looking. Okay, I'm not going to hunt for one of these guys in a maze forever. Alright, we will see them shortly, I promise. So what will happen is if you build in the stripe section, they will get irritated and come destroy your base. Not all of it. They won't go into the non-stripe sections. They're kind of territorial, so you can see that there are lined sections. Oh, there he is. There is a small demolisher. Yeah, so he just kind of goes through and wreaks havoc on everything. And even though he is creating... Well, okay, this is way too slow. I'm not going to explain everything. Yeah, he does destroy things like objects in his way, especially buildings. And he creates this kind of path behind him, this like molten path. It likes to mess with bots and damage them. It's really funny if you have repair packs on you, the bots will try to repair themselves and damage themselves inside of this, and they just get stuck in an endless feedback loop. Yeah, that's always fun. Anyways. Okay, so we have unlocked the tungsten carbide and the ability to make carbon from coal. We can't actually mine this yet. All of the tungsten carbide is tied behind the demolishers. We have to kill the demolishers to unlock this territory. So once we kill this one, we are free to do anything inside his territory. And there are, as you can see, there's at least 1, 2, 3 sections here. There are basically the rest of the map is littered with those sections. Yeah, so we also have sulfuric acid, which we will be able to use, and to be able to actually use it for good stuff, we need to mine some calcite. Okay, I need to get those substations. So we're just going to drop down a couple of things. I need some pipes. Yeah, we'll get the combinators. I like to have all the combinators down here. I can't remember for the life of me what all I actually have down here. Oh, I need cargo bays. It's kind of neat that they made some items that are useful on both the space platforms and the ground. I just need... Oh, come on. Substations. The cargo bay would be nice because it allows multiple things to be dropped. Excuse me. Did I... Thank you. And it increases the inventory space that we have. Okay, so let's get... we need power. Okay, forget I said anything. We're just power first. Wow. We need to be careful not to invade. The day-night cycle on here is quite a bit faster, but we also get quite a bit more power from solar here than we do on Novice. So yeah, solar is great. However, it is not the end all of power generation for us here. All right, I have more solar panels. Eek. Yeah, we're just going to use as much of this as we can. I don't really care about it lining up. We're literally just going to place this and we never have to look at it again. So, yeah, the fact that some of it doesn't line up, not a big deal. Oh, wait a minute. Always need to be careful and cautious when placing things like that. But I still got 24 of these? My goodness. Let's go to the other side. Again, I could really care less how this looks. We just want them placed. There, done. Oh, really? Okay, so all of that is connected. No, that one is not connected. Good thing I checked. That might have been problematic. Okay, now they're connected. We need to then actually get that out here in a usable form. And we are going to start placing our baby city block. That should get us nice and connected. Yeah, all right. All right, let's place some storage. You pretty much want to do this on every planet you go to. It's really just a way to make sure that the bots have a place to, you know, junk things. Also, be sure to be mindful of your space. We do not want to bring any unwanted attention from the demolishers. All right, and bots. And dump some of this, and we are also going to tell the bots. Actually, I'm gonna place some of we're gonna take all of this stuff and just dump it. And then now that we have a lot of that set up, we can just start dropping a lot of this actually. We're going to set up requests at some point, but for now, I just want basically almost everything that is for this planet. Gun turrets. And I believe that's everything. All the rest of this can stay. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we got to get calcite. And we are just going to start tearing stuff down because we are going to need a lot of this material. So a lot of the stuff that we can get down, the bots are going to take out for us. Yeah, sure. All right. Whatever they can get a hold of. And I do not need anything in my inventory. At least not for now. Yeah, the bots will be spending a bit of time over here, so anything we can do to kind of help them not go all the way out here to recharge is probably going to be beneficial. Okay, so let's see if we are close enough to the calcite to tap it. There's a couple of other things that we can do. I'm not like too worried about them right now. We can, you know, start smelting some of the iron and the copper into bars. Hmm. Oh, when your city block doesn't 100% work out. I completely got rid of my bots, go me. Yes, and power is definitely one of those things that we will be struggling with for a bit. And you definitely don't want to mess with the, where is... Definitely don't want to mess with the demolishers. They will, they're not happy. I didn't put anything over there, did I? Good. Yeah, as long as you are not crossing that line, then you should be fine. Alright, there's the bots. Oh geez, okay, so we need to get some calcite. I did bring miners, didn't I? Did I? Oh, whew, thank goodness. You know what? Yeah, we're just gonna mine it. And that unlocked. Let's see. Calcite and sulfuric acid to give us steam, which is why we brought the steam turbines. And it is 500 degrees Celsius steam, so perfect. The ability to convert steam into water. We will definitely need some water. You know, down the road for things like some of the cracking for oil stuff. And speaking of oil, we can now create heavy oil from coal, calcite, and sulfuric acid. So calcite is definitely something that we will need in a lot of different recipes, but you don't need a lot of it. You just need a constant trickle of it. So we are going to try to figure out how to get some of this with this down into a usable space. I have no idea. We might just start like over. I don't even know how I'm getting out of this. We can underground through the cliffs. That's fine. But we just need to start. So I'm going to start setting up some mining areas for the bots. We don't need a lot. We just need something to get by. Oh, geez. I can't wait to get cliff explosives. So once the other ship is created, one of the first things that we're going to do is bring explosives with us, because the cliff explosives require normal explosives. Everything else we can make here. I guess I could bring some grenades. Nah, grenades are fine. Yeah, we could bring some grenades too. Why not? And yeah, that way we can start getting rid of, you know, all of these, like all of this light brown stuff. This is all cliffs. Well, mostly. Oh, that's cliffs too, right? I hate hitting all. No, it's not. Okay, so most of the, at least strands of light gray that you, or light brown that you can see are cliffs. We're also going to need some coal. Now, I'm not placing a lot of these. I just need something to get us going, because a lot of the other stuff is going to be, like, we're going to be upgrading the miners pretty soon. So I'm just going to put some right in the middle. Okay, so taking a look at it, I think if we're definitely going to need to take out some of these guys sooner rather than later. So we are going to take a look at our ship real quick, see how this is going. We're getting there. We've got stuff coming. It's almost fully done. It needs some power generation though. Our planet is, it's behind on some things, but that's okay. We only need this in bursts. And it doesn't look like it's not from deficiencies, which is perfectly fine. As long as it's not from being short on something, then we are good. Or at least good enough. Because we can always add modules to these later, as long as our power is fine. Our power's fine, so... Alright, so it will take a bit of time for this to start beefing up, because it does need to gain a decent supply of materials before it can even start its journey, and ice is unfortunately one of the more difficult things. Like, honestly, if I could make ice on the planet, I would. I've even thought about maybe making some kind of spaceship just that will go around and dump everything except for ice, just to be able to have ice on a planet, so that way when we make a new ship, you can send some ice up and have a nice bit of water to start. It's pretty crazy that ice is a little bit more difficult to come by in space. You'd think that it would be, you know, somewhat readily available. Anyways, so our coal is now coming over here. We have calcite over here. And the last thing that we need is... Yeah, let's try to keep some of this. We can always tear some of this down later. Let's get some baby city block action over here too. Well, I mean, they didn't make it easy for us, that's for sure. Oof, that is tight. I think this is the tightest that I've ever seen one of these sulfuric acid fields. Someone in the comment section is like, oh, I've seen them like all connected together. So once we get this set up, we will... Okay, what was I thinking here? That is not connected. Who is missing? We'll just peel these guys over from here. So everything on this side is connected. This one. I see no blue arrows. I don't think. We should be good. Oh, I missed one. Nice. At least it was an easy one. That's it? No more? Okay. We need power. And this is a lot of setup, that's for sure. Ooh. And we will just feed this out somewhere over here. Oh man, okay, quite the setup. Or should I actually should have just dragged it through up here, kind of collect it. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Why did you not connect? Okay, everybody has power. Everybody's connected. There are no more that need to be placed. Okay. Whew, that was quite the initial setup. We're still not really done. And I'm kind of thinking that, okay, this is going to be really messy, but I'm probably going to like horseshoe this because we do not have enough room and will not have enough room to make kind of like a straight section like I do on Novice. I generally prefer to have this nice long straight section. We do not have the ability to do that here, so even without the cliff explosive or the cliffs in the way. Yeah, so well, we're gonna take it one step at a time. We apparently ran out of miners, but that's okay because we will be upgrading them soon. So once we get all of this over here, we can then finally say, yay, we have everything in one spot. Okay, not everything, but most of what we need. And yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so we have our initial setup done. That is going to be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to, well, first things first, we got to tackle power. So we will be making some steam power, and we will be converting some coal into carbon so that we can make some tungsten carbide. And I believe after we make the tungsten carbide, a lot of the stuff on the planets is unlocked just kind of over time. So you can see that. Where's the foundry? That is not the foundry. That is not the foundry. That is the foundry there. Where it is. I'm so bad about some of this stuff. I'm just like so blind. Oh, it should. Oh, here. Whew, okay. Craft tungsten carbide. So once we're able to do that, then we unlock the foundry, and that makes life a whole lot easier. You can see that this is going to be. There's a lot of ingredients, a lot of things that we can make with this. We can make concrete. We can make molten iron and molten copper, which is going to be extremely beneficial for us. We can make iron plates, steel plates, copper plates, gears, sticks. A lot of this stuff is going to be made a lot faster than what we're used to. So we will kind of start that whole process in the next episode. If you've been enjoying my content, well, you know what to do. Yeah, the channel's been growing, so it's been lovely to see all of the comments. If you want to drop me a comment, that's perfectly fine too. I try to reply to as many of them as I can. Yeah, so that's going to be it for me for this episode. I will see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.